when that roundup came, I think we were taken on a truck, and I believe that the Kitamotos came to our house also. Shigeko and her family, and her husband was also taken away. And so we all went to Eagledale. And I remember seeing a lot of people there and a lot of people up on the hillside. And I heard later on from one of the second grade teachers that my kindergarten teacher had also ridden her bike down to see us off. And so that's what I remember specifically about that, along with the soldiers, and then walking down onto the ferry. And it was really, really an exciting time for me because we got to ride on the ferry. And we knew we were going to Seattle. And in those days, it was a treat to go into Seattle. We might have gone in maybe once or twice a year. So we got on the ferry, and I was running around with all the other little kids. And you know, I didn't even notice the adults and how they were reacting or feeling because I was so busy running around. When we got off the ferry, we got onto a train. There was a train waiting for us, and I thought, oh, my gosh, we get to ride a train. And so we got onto the train, and the soldiers were there. We got our seats, and they were walking up and down. And the soldiers were so nice to us. You know, they read us books. There was someone with a guitar, and he sang us songs. And they really helped us children feel safe. I mean, I didn't feel unsafe at all. And they were so kind. And they spoke a little funny because they were from New Jersey. And so they had this accent, but they were so kind to us. And then on the train also, we had a Pullman car, so some of us little kids were able to sleep on the Pullman. And so, of course, I claimed one of the top bunks, and I made my sister get off out of that bunk, and she had to sleep on the bottom, and you know, I was kind of a bratty kid. Not kind of, but I was a bratty kid at that time, and I had my mind of my own. Anyway, we got, so we slept overnight there, and we got off, and I remember the blinds had to be down. And we got off the train. I don't remember boarding the buses that took us to Manzanar, but I do remember getting there, and everything was just flat. There were some long black housing, and I thought, oh, look at all those rhubarb houses, because my dad had a rhubarb house, and I wonder what those are for. And then I found out it was our housing, and they were just still building Manzanar at that time, because our community was the first community to come. And then we saw all these men working, pounding, building the houses, and they were very, very dark because they were out in the sun so long. And there were ditches all over. They were still putting in the sewer, and they were still putting in the pipes and things like that. And it was very, very dusty. And so the first thing we hit, I think, was a dust storm. And it was like being sandblasted. You know, you'd have to get down like this, close your eyes, close your mouth, and and just scrunch down, and still you get all that dirt and sand and everything. And so that was, I guess, my first impression of Manzanar.